So I didn't really know what to title this video, but if you've clicked on it, you know what it's titled now. And one of the reasons I wanted to make this video is because obviously this is a predominantly fitness channel, but I like to share a few of the stories that I feel I've had from my life that can help you with yours. And there's a couple of things in life that do help. Health is one of them. Finance is also another one. Lifestyle, relationships, marriage, all this stuff. There's a lot that goes into trying to be who you are and trying to live a nice, healthy, fruitful life. And one of the main things that I feel to be speaking about recent years is location. Where are you based? Because myself, I've moved the hell out of the UK a long time ago, and I just literally come back in and out. I dip in and out for other reasons, which I will mention maybe in another video later on down the line. But I don't make a lot of my money now in the UK. I make most of my money abroad. So you can say this is going to be more of a finance kind of video. But it's going to go down a little bit of a different road, as all my videos do. And I'm going to kind of try my best to give you guys a little insight on someone who was kind of like looked upon as a good guy to some people and also a terrorist or a really bad guy to others. And the person in question is Malcolm X. If you don't know about Malcolm X, I'm not here to give you the whole lesson on him. Try and do a bit of research. I feel he was an amazing guy, what he stood for, the movement that he was going down. He would have made some real changes in the black community. And on behalf of the black community, I really feel for you guys actually, because I mean, I'm not going to go into it too much, but we know the current state of America isn't the best, and this video isn't about that. We know it does exist, but I just feel that they took him out for a reason, because if he was still around today, oh wow, well, he would have probably been dead now because he was born in like 1920, I believe, something like that. I can't remember. I don't know the exact figures when he was born, but you get what I'm trying to say. I believe he was a good guy, had a good movement going, and I think he would have done the betterment for his own people. And certain people have to step up and take, center stage to do the betterment for their own people. And right now, the only person that you can do the betterment for is yourself. So I've done this myself, and hopefully this can kind of help you guys a little bit, whether it's with relationships, family, or financial. And one of the reasons I moved out the UK is there's nothing left in the UK. Yes, there's plenty of opportunities, there's plenty of jobs, there's plenty of things to do, there's plenty of places to go and visit and all this kind of stuff. But have you been around the world? Have you lived in another country? Have you seen and experienced it? Have you paid energy bills in another country? Just to touch up on an energy bill. An energy bill for the UK on a monthly basis is around £300. In Thailand, I was staying in a 5-star luxury hotel apartment, and my bill for 1 month was around about £43, let's say 50 quid. Air conditioning on, lights on all the time, in and out. The card was in, AC was on. I know it wasn't a house, but you get what I'm trying to say. The energy crisis is massive in the UK at the minute, and I advise everybody to move. Now I'm going to go down a little bit of a story, or a little story. It was a speech by Malcolm X. And it was, I know he used the N-word a lot. So it was house, slave. I'm going to say, he said house, N, and field, N. I don't know if I can say it on YouTube. Otherwise, I would say I have no issue with saying it. But we're going to say slaves. And it's going to relate to you guys. You're going to understand. I'm going to try and unravel everything that I'm talking about. I might be just waffling on right now. Okay. 2 types of slaves. House slave and the field slave. Buckle yourself in. I'm going to explain. And if you haven't heard this, it's going to be very interesting. So the house slave, he stayed with his master all the time. He slept where his master slept. He lived with his master in the attic, in the basement. He ate the master's food. He shared the master's drinks, the honey, the milk, the food, everything. All the pleasures the master had, he shared with the master. If the master was sick, he would say, "We sick." This is a quote from Malcolm X. If there was, a fire in the master's house, he'd be the first person to go and pull it out, to put it out. He was a very good slave. He was the house slave, or as he likes to call it, the Uncle Toms, which I'm not going to get into too much on why he calls them that, but hopefully you guys can understand. So if a field slave ever came to the house slave and said, let's get away, because they were still slaves, the house guy was still a slave. If the field slave said, let's dip, let's get out of here, he'd be like, why on earth would we want to get out of here? I sleep good. I eat good. What is there out there? I've got everything here. He's still a slave. Now, how do we compare that to the modern slave? House slave. The modern house slave is still around there today. My family came from Pakistan. Slaves in a sense to the system that brought them here to work hard. And if you earn enough money, you can live next to us, the masters. But the house that we bought for £10,000 back in the days is now worth 3 million to you because of inflation, because we created that inflation. And now everybody thinks living next to the master, you're still a slave, you're just a very good slave in the system. Everyone thinks living next to your master in the UK means you made it. When your kids go to the same school as your master's kids, you think you've made it. You know what I'm talking about? We all know somebody of the same. Doesn't necessarily nowadays have to be the same ethnic origin as you. I'm just giving you that as an example because my family have migrated from a different place. And hopefully you can relate to that. But even if you are Caucasian and you were from the working middle class slaves, you still want to buy the big mansion when you've made it next to the masters. Now, if you take the field slave, the majority, everybody else, and I have also been a field slave as well, we hate the master. We all hate the master because we're working for the master for free. Now, the field slave, he slept outside in the shacks, wore the same dirty clothes, ate the master's leftovers, whatever was the guts back in those days. So if they had the hog inside, the slaves had the guts, the rubbish, the crap. They got ill, they were disease-ridden, didn't wash, none of that. And they were the majority. Now, if the master's house was burning, in Malcolm X's words, they would pray for a strong wind. If they said to each other, let's get out of here, they would say any place is better than this. Because they were slaves. They were field slaves. They wanted to get out. And majority of people working a 9 to 5 today, I've been there. We're field slaves. You guys are field slaves, whether you like to admit it or not. Some of you are on £50,000 a year. You're a field slave. You're on £100,000 a year right now thinking, I made it in life. You're still not a house slave yet. You're still a field slave. You're just a very good field slave. You're one of those field slaves that gets to kind of lead charge in a group of smaller, lower level field slaves. Like you're like the field slave who's training up the new field slaves. That's all a 100k salary is getting you nowadays. I know people are thinking 100k, that's a lot of money, Fadi. No, it's not, bro. Earning 100k now, then your master's taxing you 40% on top of that. How much are you left with, really? You think you're doing well if you're on 100k nowadays? It's 50 going. When I was younger, I used to think, yo, he's on 50 G's. I used to go around and someone said, yo, that guy's doing well. How much is he on? Oh, he earns 80k. 80k, wow, that's a lot, bro. It ain't a lot. Not in this country. If you earn that in another country, hell, yeah, that's a lot of money. But in the UK, you're earning £80,000, £100,000. What can you really do with it? You can't do nothing with that money. Zero. You can barely get a decent mortgage with that money. And to live next to who? Your master. Do you see where I'm going with this? So just bear with me. Now, when the field slaves stepped out of line, do you know who they got to discipline the field slaves? It wasn't the master. The master never came out with the whip and said, I'm going to whip the field slaves and I'm going to teach them a lesson. No, do you know who they got? They got the house slaves. The house slaves took care of the field slaves. That's what happened. And what happens right now in the UK, in our parliament, we get someone elected who's the same skin colour and we think, yes, we've got a guy in there. He is nothing but a house slave. And all he is there for is to keep you whipped and in check. And they're psychologically whipping us. It's not nowadays, they're not out there whipping us. They're out there, oh, that's a brown guy in parliament. We've got a guy in there. That means we're doing okay. Oh, we're not, bro. Because he's a slave to the master. Because he really wants to be on par with the master. He wants to play golf with the master. He obeys the master. He plays by the master's rules. That's why he got there. And all the reason why they put him there is so that you can stay in check. Because those house slaves are there to keep the field slaves in check. That is how this system works. And I know many of you might watch this video and think, what bullshit is Fadi saying? And I don't care. This is, if you think that, that's fine. This video isn't for you. Listen to the other fitness tips. I'm going to mention it in the title that this is no fitness related content in this. This is just something that I wanted to make. I've been speaking to a lot of people recently. A lot of people are getting stressed out. A lot of people are like, what's going on? What's happening here? And I'm like, pack your bags and leave. You don't need to be here. There's many countries out there, whether you've got kids or whether you haven't, whether you're Islamic, you're Jewish, Christian, go move to a different country. The UK has nothing to offer. Rich people used to come to the UK to party, to travel, to relax, to chill. They don't even come anymore. Have you seen the state of London? You know what happens in London nowadays? No one owns a Bugatti no more in London because there was a Bugatti in traffic and guys were trying to rob it. They were trying. I think they saw his watch and they were trying to smash his window to take his watch off him. The guy was in a Bugatti in a £5 million car and they didn't give a damn. Every day I turn on Instagram, there's thugs outside someone's house with CCTV and they don't care. They're taking their time breaking into the door, rushing into the house, doing stuff. It's absolutely mayhem right now in the UK. And then there's always those people, yeah, but UK has a lot to offer. There's a lot over here. There's a little bit, things are good. We've got football. Our football team, that's another thing that he mentions. When the house slave or something happened within the house, it was like we, us, Whereas the field slaves never used to say that. It was like the master's house. We want them to die, or we want this to happen, we want that to happen. But now, the field slaves have in the UK football, sporting events. And, I'm from a city where, there's 2 football teams. And when people talk about football, this is the most ridiculous thing ever when they say this. They don't say, let's say you're from Manchester, they don't say, oh, Manchester United are playing Liverpool. They'll say, we're playing Liverpool next week. We're playing Liverpool next week. Who's where, bro? You ain't on £100,000 a week or $500,000 a week, whatever these guys are playing. These guys are the gladiators of the modern day. You ain't getting that paycheck. There is no we in a football team, bro. When you say we are playing, who's we? You don't play for Man U unless Wayne Rooney or whoever. I don't know who plays football at the minute. I don't even know, bro. I don't even follow it. Rashford, his name comes up a lot. Marcus Rashford. Ronaldo, let's say Ronaldo. Ronaldo can say, we're playing Barcelona. Yeah, I get that, Ronaldo. Yeah, you are playing Barcelona. I get it. I understand it. We're playing Brazil. Yeah, you are playing Brazil. But Mr. Joe Blogs working down the road over here or doing whatever, and there's a group of lads chatting, and this is Asian lads as well I've seen recently talk about football, and it's like, yeah, we've got Burnley away next week. What? You've got what? You've got what away next week? Who's you, bro? What, you mean you're going to watch him? You're going to watch guys play football and you're saying we. Absolutely ridiculous. It is insane how much these people are inside the system. And, there's a quote from The Matrix, if I can remember it without butchering it, that they'll be so invested in the system, they will do anything to protect it. They're enslaved by the system, They'll be so enslaved by the system, they'll do anything to protect it because they won't think there's anything wrong. And one of the reasons that you people don't think anything wrong with the UK is because you don't go out and travel. Or when you do travel, you go for a week at a time. You see, it's paradise. Oh, it's amazing. I'm in Turkey. Oh, I'm in Crete. I'm in Santorini. I'm in Spain. I'm in Thailand. I'm in Dubai. Or wherever you guys go to travel. I don't know. Everyone has their own places. And you go and spend a week there, and it's an all-inclusive resort, and you want to chill, you want to get your socks off, you want to get your nice tans and buy your fake designer gear and come back and say, yeah, it was great, can't wait to go back. Oh, it was amazing out there, yeah. Go and move out there for a month. Go and move out there for 6 months. Pack your bag. Sell your house. Put some money in the bank. Well, don't keep it in the bank, but save some money. Buy some assets. Do something with it. Don't do crypto. Get the hell out of the UK. Now, I know this video has probably come across like I'm very bitter about the UK. No, I love the UK. My family live here. Everything's good about it. But I'm also doing stuff abroad. I'm going to reveal exactly what I'm doing abroad, maybe in some other videos when I get a little bit more comfortable revealing about my finances and family life and stuff like that. But for now, we'll keep it kind of like a little bit of advice and a lot of fitness for now, because that's what this page has predominantly been built on, and I'm going to keep pushing towards that. But if you guys do want to see more videos like this, not just me ranting about how crap the UK is, which it is very, very bad, but if you want to see videos more videos like this, then please comment down below, subscribe and like.